Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the forthcoming album from the band Haserot, entitled Advent of Suffering, due out July 10th through Redefining Darkness Records. And if you're not familiar with Haserot, they are a death metal band from Houston, Texas, been around since 2020, featuring Cryptos Grim on the drums. He is also in the band Spectral Manifest. Keegan Kelly handling the bass. He is also a member of Spectral Manifest. He was also a member of Ingurgitate at one point, among other projects that he has. Maurice Eggenschweiler on lead guitars, Brandon Johnson handling rhythm guitars. He is a former member of Well of Souls. He is also in the band Doomstress, another really excellent band. And finally, Justin McKittrick handling all the vocals. This is the band's debut full-length album. It is 10 tracks, and literally it is just 1 second short of 39 minutes in length. Honestly, I have been a fan of this band after getting their 2022 EP, Throne of Malice, as a promo, and eventually snagging a CD copy of that as well. The Texas scene, I think, is one of the strongest out there, and actually one of the more consistent ones in my opinion. And these guys are a perfect example of what the scene is all about. The album is definitely, I think, a step up from the EP, though that thing was no slouch in and of itself. And this thing actually features some really killer guests in the form of Mark Grew from As in Hell, Insidious Disease, and others, as well as the legendary Andy LaRock and James Murphy, providing vocals and guitars and solos respectively. And if that is not a strong enough pedigree of guests, they have Dan Swano, handling the production on here. And I think he did an absolutely fantastic job with this album. Firstly, Cryptos' drum work on here is just absolutely killer, I have to say. Great production, and he keeps things nice and interesting with his patterns, rolls, and fills, and I especially dig his double bass and blast beats. It's just pretty much solid old school death metal drumming to its core. The bass sits a little bit lower in the mix than I would normally like it, but it still sounds pretty good. It really makes its presence felt. It's got this nice thick tone to it, which really gives everything a solid backbone throughout the entire album. One thing that sticks out to me on here, though, is the guitar tone, because it doesn't have what you would expect from an old school kind of death metal band. It's got that Swedish feel to it, but it doesn't quite have that HM2 buzzsaw sound to it that scene is known for, yet it has that same heavy crunch to the guitars. You get a nice mix of these, fast-paced riffs with these, slower, heavy chud grooves that just get the head banging. For example, track number 2, Poverty of Thought, at about the 240 mark, that has some really nice double bass going on underneath it, really setting that groove and getting the head banging. Definitely has some melodic touches to the guitars as well, especially in some of the solos. And I honestly get a bit of a Hypocrisy vibe as I listen to this, to be honest with you, throughout the whole thing. I know there's also some hints of Morbid Angel here and there as well, but there's a lot of parts I was listening to, man, this sounds so much like Hypocrisy. I mean, not like a clone or anything, but Hypocrisy just kept coming to mind while I was listening to it. Track number 3, Apophis. This song actually has a very black metal-esque tremolo riff right after the guitar solo at the 2-minute mark, so that's kind of a nice little surprise. Much like their EP, I think Justin's vocals are this nice savage mix of snarls and growls, and it especially sounds badass when they layer the two style of vocals together. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Henry Sattler of God Dethroned. He came to mind as I was listening to this. One of the other things that I picked out, though, is track number 5, Cruentus Omega. I feel this is just a absolutely perfectly placed acoustic interlude on this album. It gives a little bit of a reprieve from the beating you were getting from the first 4 tracks on this thing before continuing the ass whooping after that. So it kind of gives you that kind of false sense of security, like, oh, finally a little bit of reprieve, and then bam, they just come back and kick your ass some more. I think it's just at the right spot on this album, and it doesn't really disrupt the flow at all. Because some bands will do an interlude like this or something, and they always put it in a really awkward spot where it just kind of really makes things feel a little disjointed. It's kind of really they might have a nice flow going, and then they just kind of kill it with putting in a little interlude in the wrong spot. But I feel like the band really did a good job with this when they put it just the right mark. Overall, I think this is just an absolutely killer release from this Texas Horde and a great follow-up to their EP. It's just pure Texas brutality. There's no frills, just old school death metal done right and done in such a way that you just can't help but bang your head. And then once it's over, you just put it on again and again and again. I will be leaving a link down below so you can check this out for yourself. Like I said, this comes out July 10th through Redefining Darkness Records. Go check out Haserot, pick up a copy of their EP, and when this new album drops, pick up a copy as well. I believe I actually got my CD pre-ordered. I could be wrong. I'm fairly sure I do. If not, I will be double checking as soon as I finish recording here, and I will definitely pick one up if I have not already, because these guys kick ass again. Absolutely badass Texas style death metal. Go check them out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.